Welcome to the Journey Podcast, where we showcase some of the most inspiring stories on the face of the planet. And today I have a really good friend of mine, a gentleman that I actually met at my men's business leaders church group that I meet with every single week. And Chris is not only in the real estate business, he's a commercial and business broker. He's a serial entrepreneur and a car enthusiast. And today I have the honor and privilege of introducing to you my good friend, Chris Estrada.
Oh, thank you, my man.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Long time coming.
Yeah.
So good to do this.
Definitely. And it's interesting because we're here at the top of Nueva Cantina, which is down below. We had the great privilege of shooting here, but we were just downstairs, and I know that you're a partner with them. You've done a bunch of business deals with them, and a phenomenal business. And,
thank you.
I wanted, if you don't mind, just to kind of open up and share a little bit about that journey, like how you even got into that. And I know you have a little bit of your real estate background that kind of tied into that, which is pretty cool. And,
yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for having me, man. This is awesome. I'm so glad to be here. Yeah, it's been a really fun journey. I mean, to give you guys a little background about myself, I like to call myself a recovering consultant. I had a marketing consulting company about a few years back and everything else. And then I said, real estate is kind of where you need to be. I was consulting with co-working spaces, people that wanted to open co-working spaces. So I said, I was consulting with people, helping them figure out where they wanted to go. And then I did a couple deals, and then I saw how much the broker was making, and I saw how much I was making. I said, man, I'm on the wrong side of this table. So I pivoted into real estate. But how I got into Neva, I mean, I like to say that relationships are everything in this world. And one of my favorite quotes is that relationships will take you places money can't.
That's right.
And when you're really good at what you do and you're genuine about how you go around business, then you operate at a higher level, and you vibrate at a higher level, and you think at a higher level. And by doing that, people always ask me all the time, like, how do you work with such great people in higher companies? I always tell them, I just live my life doing the things that I enjoy doing and serving people to the highest degree that I can, and just showing up how Jesus will want me to show up. And that is how I really think that me and Raul, my business partner with Neva, really got aligned. We met a while back ago when he was running a couple of barbecue restaurants back in Atlanta, and he moved away, started up, opened up a bunch of Popeyes restaurants. So he's been in the game, opened a bunch of restaurants, and then when he moved over here to Florida, we connected, helped him buy some properties. Then he said, I think I want to open a Mexican restaurant. I said, okay, let's go. And then he gave us the criteria. We looked at a couple places, and man, Tampa Bay, like, I love you, Tampa Bay. You guys are good. We had to bring the Mexican game, man. Like the food was not slamming, but now our food is slamming. So it's been really fun. So we found this awesome restaurant in St. Pete called Nueva Cantina. It was it had already been there, I think, for probably like 10-15 years. It had already been through a couple owners. Great brand, great food, great people. The owner was just tired.
Yeah.
He was tired. He had another concept that he was kind of wanting to really go kick off and put some more time and energy into. So it gave us an opportunity to acquire that location and really just go in. We revamped it. We repainted outside. And, when they say that, like, when you're a business owner, you get it. You get it, Josh. Like, when you're in it, you're in it. When things got to get done, things got to get done.
That's right.
We were out there painting. We were out there staining, and we were out there just for the first 5-6 months. I mean, we were there doing the work. I mean, I was out there staining the deck. So when you guys go to the Creative Conference, you'll see that deck. It was stained by me and a couple of my guys. So, I mean, for those that think it's easy, I mean, you really got to be in it.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah,
so
you
true.
really got to be in it.
Yeah, it reminds me of the saying, like, your vibe attracts your tribe. And I was just mentioning, I had the opportunity to speak with Raul, the owner, and it was just amazing, like, seeing the vision, the passion, and I could see why you guys would connect. Same reason why you and I connected. Yeah, real recognizes real, of course.
They do, man. They do. And I mean, you can tell. I mean, he was very experienced, and he says, hey, this is what I want to do. Let's go. And then the biggest thing about business owners, you have to be decisive.
Yeah.
Every time somebody, comes up to me and says, hey, I want to buy a property or whatever else, I'll show them a property, and then next thing you know, later on down the road, they just hem and haw and they analysis paralysis.
Yep.
What I like about Raul is, like other very successful people, is they can make decisions. We don't need to know all the answers. We just need to know a few of the answers.
For sure.
Any other person probably would have passed on that opportunity.
Yeah, definitely.
But because, I mean, it was rough.
Yeah.
It needed a lot of love. It didn't look great on paper, but we saw it was a really, really cool opportunity to revamp that and then expand the brand to where we are now in Tampa. And we just opened our third location in Brandon last Wednesday.
Yeah.
So we have 3 locations in about 16, 18 months, which is unheard of with restaurant expansion.
Yeah. What I love about what you guys have going on as well, even with Raul, man, like the humility is there and the focus is really on the customer experience and the product.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, your food's got to be good. Your service has to really, really be on point, and that's going to that's what's going to get them coming back.
Of course.
I mean, because what we saw is, not knocking all the other Mexican restaurants that are out there, but their food was okay. And they're just getting that first-time customer. We get that first-time customer, but we also want to make sure that first-time customer turns into a third, fourth, or fifth. We have. If you ever come to our place for your birthday, we got the sparklers going. I mean, we're singing for you. I mean, it's lit.
That's
it's jamming.
cool, man.
It's
That's
fun.
Cool.
And Nueva Cantina, it's not really just a restaurant, it's an experience.
Yeah, for sure.
As you saw with the Halloween bar and everything else. I mean, when you go in there, when was the last time you saw a Mexican restaurant decked out with a Halloween bar like that?
Absolutely.
I mean, we went all out.
Yeah, no, that's so cool. Yeah, we're looking forward. We're going to bring our Creators Conference tribe and check out the Nueva in St. Pete, right? Downtown St.
Yeah,
Pete?
downtown St. Pete on 4th Street.
Nice. So that's really cool, man. And so you guys have 3 locations and still expanding. And what I love about what you do is you're more on the real estate side of things. You're like helping to broker these deals. And I think about the saying that, you know, your gifts will make room for you. And it's just really cool that you were able to bring your expertise and be a part of this like grand vision.
Yeah.
And I wanted to kind of go a little bit into how you ended up in real estate in the first place, because I know out here you're one of the real estate market is super competitive, and it's very rare to come across people who are actually killing it in real estate. And it's just, you know, awesome to see your journey and how you've even transitioned and not being from Tampa. I mean, it's kind of cool, you know. I think you're always going to be driven by 2 things drive markets: fear and opportunity. Too many people are living in the world of fear, and they're too busy holding on to past versions of themselves that are no longer serving them. And moving here, so I've lived in Tampa for about 3 years now, originally from Atlanta, built a super successful real estate career out there over the past 9 years. Still have it going over there. Is really, really good. People ask me all the time, like, why would you leave that? And I said to myself, you know, I was ready for something new. I was ready for some new change, and I was ready to be reborn, per se, by the water. And I knew there was a ton of opportunity over here. And Tampa is about 5 to 7 years behind Atlanta in development. So there's a lot of room to run over here. So that's what brought me over here. But what really got me into real estate is, you know, as a consultant, you can only the only path to make more money is to go bill more hours. And I was tired of billing more hours. I said to myself, I'd rather go do bigger deals and work with higher things. So I've done everything from apartment investing to office leasing to land acquisitions, land dispositions. I mean, I've done the full mix. And they always say that the riches are in the niches, and then that, you know, you don't want to be a generalist. Well, I like to say I'm a really good generalist. For sure.
And I think it makes me very well versed when I'm speaking with clients, because I can talk about the housing market and how that affects why you should or shouldn't move your restaurant or business to a certain part of area or a certain part of town. And I would think about that with you guys that are out there, like, with your business, like, what other factors that with your company that could affect you guys, like in your industry, like what else do you need to know? The more you know, it's only just going to make you more valuable to serve your client at a higher level, and you be able to be more valuable and irreplaceable.
That's so true. That's so true. So bring me back to like young Chris.
Oh,
like,
man.
I'm curious because your family is from the Philippines.
Yeah, my parents from the Philippines.
You know what's really interesting is I recently learned about the journey of your grandmother, Lola.
Yeah.
And she's like the OG that really moved your whole family to the States, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And she has a really amazing background. And if I'm not mistaken, like she got her education and all that.
Yeah.
And she's seen some things.
Dude, man, my Lola, RIP, man, she was awesome. She was 94 years old. She was super sharp. At 40 years old, her she ended up going through a divorce, and she's a survivor. My Lola was a survivor. She had 4 or 5 brothers and sisters that she lost in the war.
Wow.
In the Philippines.
Wow.
She was getting picked up by a family member, and they were going to the house, and on their way over there, they had to go pick something up or whatever. And because they made that detour, they missed the house getting bombed. Wow. So just think about that. Like, we are miracles in and of itself. I looked this up the other day. Your chances of being born, you have a better chance of winning the lottery.
That's right.
1 million times than you do of even being
It's like a 1 in
born.
400 trillion.
It's a crazy. You can imagine that you could win. You have a better chance of winning the lottery 1 million times than you do of even born. So the fact that you're even here listening to this podcast, you're already a statistical anomaly.
That's so true.
But my grandma, so like she was a total survivor. So when she was 40, my grandfather, he decided that he didn't want to be married anymore. He left her. So my grandma had to figure it out and fend for herself. She went back to school at 40.
Wow.
She went back to school at 40, got her degree, and then she worked at the bank. She worked at the bank in California. I can't remember the name of it, but bro, she worked at the bank for so long. She ended up retiring. She ended up retiring with her pension, and then she outlived the bank. The bank had since been bought out and closed, and they're still paying her retirement.
That's crazy.
She got paid longer in retirement than she ever did actually working.
Crazy. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm super blessed. I never take that for granted. I mean, it's being here, it's such a blessing, and for us to be able to carry on the legacy of our ancestors and our family, I don't hold that lightly, and it's pretty exciting to be able to do that.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, man.
That's really cool. And what would you say, like, with your grandma? And then shout out to Miss Lola, of course, and just a beautiful soul.
Yeah, she was great.
And what
94.
would you say? Yeah, man, that's a long life.
Yeah.
And what would you say were some of the characteristics that you're proud to have taken from her?
She had a crazy memory. And I always tell people all this time, like, my memory scares even me. I'll remember the dumbest facts that I just don't remember. But it's played very useful in my career because I remember a lot of details. But she would remember, she could tell you the exact date and time that her washer and dryer was delivered 25 years ago.
That's incredible. Yeah, that's really
And
incredible.
she had a super hard work ethic. And I think another thing I really took from her was she was always a very positive person. And in today's world, there's just so much frumpy energy and so much bad to look at. And I mean, she was 94 and like she always lived like she still had plenty of gas in the tank. She traded stocks and learned how to like read charts and everything else.
Yeah.
She'd sit in her bed watching Jim Cramer. Not that he's ever right or wrong, but whatevs. But like she was always wanting to learn about new things and how to better herself. And I really took that with me of, I could have stayed comfy in Atlanta just being like, doing really, really well, closing all my deals and driving the Porsche and all that. I got all that, but I was like, it's time to level up. Like I felt like God called me here to do something bigger. And when I made that choice to move here 3 years ago, Nueva wasn't even remotely in the picture. I mean, I knew it was in 2023. The market was slower, and I told myself, if things are gonna be slow, and if I'm gonna have a slower season, I want to be at the beach.
Yeah.
I want to be at the beach.
Yeah.
So I said, I made that decision. I made some really, really cool friends through the car community. I'm a huge car guy, as Josh had mentioned. I had my 911. I'm going to get another whip soon enough. So
Nice.
We'll see. You'll get there. But one of my really, really good friends has an amazing car rental company, Sharp Exotics. Give her a shout out right there.
Yeah,
She's
that's
really,
so
really
cool.
awesome.
Like I see, you pulled in with the blue Lambo.
Yeah, you got a blue Urus out there.
And then the plate is like my Uber.
My Uber. Yeah. So So yeah, she's got a bunch of lambs. She's got all the really, really nice car. One of my best friends, super, super genuine people. She's really, really cool.
What's the company?
Sharp Exotics.
Make sure you guys book with Sharp Exotics.
Sharp Exotics. Yeah, we'll put the link down below. Yeah, she's really, really good people. But when I moved down here, like I like to believe this, and we talk about in the church all the time. If God showed you the plan, you probably wouldn't believe it anyways.
That's right. Yeah.
So
you may not even move forward because of all the difficulty.
You might see that and be like, hey, this is what's coming.
Yeah.
You might be like, oh man, I don't know about all that.
Or how long it's gonna take.
How long it's gonna take.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a crazy, super successful business, like a good solid mid 6-figure business in Georgia that I had built up, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to leave that. I'm going to go start fresh over here in Tampa. And I like to think I didn't start from scratch. I started from experience. And it was just, it was a lot. It was like God was saying, hey, look, like go over there. I'm not going to tell you why you're there, but you're going to figure it out soon enough. And man, bro, I got broke a couple times.
Yeah.
Cause I like to, and we were talking about this early. I like to think that you're not I believe this, that you're not a true entrepreneur if you've never really been like, you got to check your account and be like, whoa man, can I buy this cheeseburger? Can I get my dry cleaning? Can I pay for this parking?
That is so true.
It really humbles you.
Yeah.
Because when you're in that state, you realize what's important. Mm-hmm. You realize what's important because if you're good with your health and if you're good with God, that's all you really need to really, really keep going.
Absolutely. And you get forged in the fire. It really builds your character, and it's a good feeling getting to the other side, man.
Oh yeah,
it really is.
It makes it that much better and that much sweeter, and it pushes you. Yeah. It pushes you and it makes you better. Yeah. And I remember, I think it was Kevin O'Leary that said this on Shark Tank. He goes, I will never invest in somebody that got it right and did well their first time out. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you've had your experiences with the business 100%. And everything. And absolutely. I mean, it humbles you and it makes you realize what's important. It makes you realize how much you can really live with and deal with and still be okay. Yeah. No, it's so true. I want to talk about like your darkest moment in entrepreneurship. Oh yeah. Like, is there a moment you can recall where you were just like, man, I want out of this. Like this is not it. I've had those moments, those crying in the closet moments where it's just so tough, man. And you don't even see a light at the end of the tunnel, but you know that in a weird way, as a spiritual person, you know that God's going to get you through, but you don't know how it's going to happen, and the uncertainty can get the best of you. Oh man, I remember earlier in my years, my first business, I was doing the consulting company, and did pretty well, had some clients and everything else, and then I had a really awesome business coach, and I got caught up trying to keep the previous life that I had with the current income that I have now. Yeah. And I ran all the credit cards up. I didn't have a bunch of clients in, and then I had a roommate at the time, and man, next thing you know, we're 3 months behind on the mortgage. Yep. 3 months behind the mortgage, and I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. Like it is real. It's going down. It is going down. And for you guys that are out there, I'm sure you guys have been there. Like you're like, pay your mortgage over paying your business coach. I highly recommend that. Yep. But sometimes that's what it takes. And I told myself, I was like, man, like this is one of my many come to Jesus moments. But so one of my real first ones was I remember sitting there on the couch and I remember telling my mom, I had to tell my parents, I was like, man, it's bad right now. Yeah, like it's bad. I had to tell them like, man, I'm broke. Yeah. I'm broke and it's bad. They're gonna take my house. And I remember I remember sitting there on the couch and then having to get down on my knees and be like, yeah, Jesus, like I don't know what this is gonna look like. Like shit. Yeah. And then that's when I really, really had to give myself to God. I was like, fuck. Yeah. And then sure enough, I remember telling my mom, I was like, man, like, fuck, I don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah. And then I remember I got the offer letter the same day as the foreclosure letter. on the house.
Wow.
And I ended up closing a month later.
Wow.
And I almost fucking lost it.
Wow. Wow. Man, thank you so much for sharing that. You know, I know what that valley feels like, brother. It's tough.
It's tough.
It's tough, you know, and I commend you, man, because you're you're one of those generals that just, you held the line.
And then I told myself, I said, you know what? That previous business, I built it. I was building it for me. Yeah. I was not building it with God. I did not have him on the side. So at 32, I sold everything. I moved back in with my parents, and I said, you know what? Like, I'm gonna go all in on the business. I'm gonna figure it out. And what does every business owner that's down and out do when they're down? They start another business.
That's right.
That's what we do. So I moved back into my parents, broke as hell at 32.
When it's your humble season.
Sold everything but my mountain bikes, my car, and my computer, and my clothes. And I said, all right, let's go do this. My parents took me in, and I said, I'm going to get my real estate license. Everybody told me I was an idiot. And they're like, go get a job. Nobody wanted to hire my ass.
Wow.
And because they said I was too entrepreneurial, whatever else. I was like, all right, I got to go do my own shit.
Yeah.
So I went and got my real estate license, and man, it was like, most people take 6 months to get the real estate course done, if they even finish it. Most people a lot of people sign up for it and don't even get it done. Yeah. And most people take 6 months. I got it done in a month.
Wow.
I basically said, you know what? This is what I want to do. This is the path. And I focused. And I'd say that's one thing I'm really, really good about, is I'm good at getting hyper focused. When shit needs to get done, need to be done, I'm the guy that people call and say, hey Chris, this needs to happen, like, can you help? Yeah. I'm the guy that can get it done because I know I can do it for myself, and I know I can do it for my people.
For sure.
So I got it done. I got licensed I basically got through the course in about a month, and then was licensed 2 months later and producing.
That's incredible, man.
Yeah, so it was a lot. It was but it made it happen, and you know, I didn't know all the answers. Yeah. I didn't know all the answers and how it was going to work out, but you know, I stuck with it. Took about a year and a half took about 2 years until I really, really start getting into it. And you know, people want success too easily.
Yeah, yeah. It's a microwave mentality.
It's a microwave mentality, man. And you know, if you don't go through those early times, you don't appreciate it when you're.
That's right.
When you're there, like, and that's for you guys that are out there listening to this. Like, you guys, I challenge you guys to ask yourself, like, what do you really want?
Yeah.
What do you really want your life to look like? And you know, and that can evolve. And too many times, we're repositioning our lives today for previous versions of ourselves.
That's right. That's good.
Too many people are serving previous versions of themselves that are no longer serving them.
Yeah, so true.
And you got to be willing to be like, you know what? I don't need that shit anymore. I'm not that person anymore. Like, I'm willing to go freaking sell everything and go all in on whatever that is. Yeah. And I'm willing to look like an asshole and an idiot doing it, but I feel like this is what I'm called to do, and I'm going to see it all the way through. Yeah,
no, it's so true. And I actually just did a talk on this, on just being attached to your old identity. And a lot of it is just the fear of going into the unknown. And we'd rather settle for the devil we know than the devil we don't. Yep. And it's a lot of that. Man, that's such an incredible story, brother. Like, I'm so happy that we went there, because I can feel the heaviness of it, and I've been there, so I could really empathize with that. And there's so many lessons, right? Keeping God in the equation, which is a big thing. Being humble enough to say, you know what? Shit is really bad right now, and I'm gonna go into my humble season. And the fact that you even had your parents is a blessing. Yeah, yeah. Shout out to your parents.
They've been great. My parents are great. They're wonderful people. I always just want to kind of keep on carrying the tradition and make them proud and make some moves, man.
That's incredible. Yeah, that's incredible, man. And you know, in terms of like other life lessons from a business standpoint, like, what would you say, if there's any practical advice you could give on things that you learned, maybe how to manage your money or how to go about business? I know for me, when you talk about just consulting, I know for me, not staying in lead gen mode, like constantly generating new leads. That was one of my biggest downfalls when I kind of fell into that scenario. But what about for you, even just managing your money, or
there are a couple things I've learned. I mean, with money in particular, one of the biggest lessons I learned with money is when you respect money, it will respect you. If you respect money, it will respect you.
That's good.
And you can attract way more of it.
Yeah.
Too many people talk about money like it is that it's a finite source. And we talk about making money like we actually have to go to our house, cut the trees down, get the dyes, put it together, and then make the money. The money's already made.
Yeah.
We need to go scoop up the money.
Yeah.
The money's already made.
That's right.
You don't need to make more money. You need a bigger net. You need a big ass net.
That's good.
To go swoop the shit up.
Yeah.
You need to go get your unfair share that somebody else is neglecting or whatever.
That's right.
I'd say that showing up. How you show up is everything, and the fact that you even show up says everything.
Yeah.
Like, I can't tell you how many times this has happened. I'm sure it's happened for you. The number of times you've gotten an opportunity because somebody else didn't show up.
That's right.
Some other broker didn't show up. Some other broker didn't treat that client.
They weren't on top of their game.
They weren't on top of they weren't.
Yeah.
But even when they're on top of the game, they didn't show up with empathy for their people. And too many people, I would say another big piece is, as I mentioned this to you earlier, separating yourself from the outcome.
Yeah.
Like, how can I look at every opportunity and every client that I work with, like, how can I serve them to the highest level and help them solve whatever problem that is?
Yeah.
Because whether we're buying apartment complexes or leasing spaces, we're solving problems. And my job as a broker is to help them solve that problem. And in the business brokerage side, like, there's a lot of people that have these businesses that have been running them for 20, 30 years, and they could sell it for a decent valuation and get some money for it instead of just closing up the doors and leaving.
Yeah.
So they're leaving a lot of money on the table.
So true.
And there's some good conversations to have around there, but like really showing up and knowing your shit. Knowing your shit. Like, I spoke to this group of young entrepreneurs that my cousin in San Antonio invited me out to, and I told them, I said, ChatGPT will not save your ass when a client is screaming at you in your face.
That's right. That's right.
You really got to know your stuff.
Yeah.
You really got to know your stuff. You need to be able to speak knowledgeably about it. Like, I can speak knowledgeably about square footage and prices about anywhere between here, Tampa, St. Pete, Atlanta, and most different areas across retail, industrial, multifamily. Not too many brokers can do that.
Yeah. I agree.
So that brings me a really cool value add. But
no, that's awesome, man. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Now, why entrepreneurship? Like, why go through the pain? Why endure? Like, why not just go a traditional job route? And I know you've worked traditional jobs as well. And like, what was it for you that was just like, you know what, this isn't my thing. I'm not going down this path. It just doesn't feel like.
Yeah. You know, entrepreneurship is funny because in the Filipino culture, you're either a nurse, doctor, accountant, engineer, or failure. Entrepreneur isn't listed. It's not even. I don't even think there's even a word in Tagalog for entrepreneur. So for me, it was kind of forced. So, and you know, college and everything else, I have my own opinions about college. It's changed a lot. And I mean, I have a business degree, I have a freaking master's degree, I have an MBA and all that stuff. And I have made more money being an entrepreneur than I ever did from being in corporate America.
For sure.
And this is the thing about corporate America, man. Like, you could be doing everything right. You could be neglecting your family, neglecting your own time, neglecting your health. And if the company has a bad quarter or they just don't like you anymore, you are gone.
That's right.
And no company is going to have your back and save you.
Yeah.
And that happened to me. So back in 2000, so my first job out of college, I used to do event marketing for Pepsi. And we used to drive around. I used to have a truck with a trailer, and I'd go to all the NASCAR events, the Super Bowl events, and I think I told you about this. I used to go to all the dub shows.
Yeah.
I used to go to all the dub shows. Shout out little Scrappy, you know, Scrappy, Jim Jones, Bone Thugs. We were all hanging with him at the dub shows, and it was a lot of fun. But in 2008, when everything hit the fan, you know, everybody was slashing marketing budgets and slashing sales budgets. So marketing is the first thing to go. So I was let go. I was let go from my dream job at that time. I had just bought my house like a couple months earlier, and I was like, oh shit, like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
And yeah, man. And then I did that for a while. And I mean, in 2008, if you guys were there, man, put your comment, put what you were doing in 2008, because I was in the employment office. And if I was smart, I would have been buying some real estate. And like, I think about that now. Somebody told me this, like, you know, if you could go back 10 years ago, would you buy real estate knowing what you know now?
Yeah. And
that answer is yes. So why would it be any different now?
Yeah.
Like,
so true.
It's going to be so different. But yeah, man, like, I did everything in the sense of, you know, go get that job. Like, college and society teaches you to be an employee. It doesn't teach you to be an independent thinker.
Yeah.
And build businesses that build people.
Yeah.
They just want you to be an employee.
Yeah, for sure.
And man, I did all that stuff right, and it you know, I got laid off after 2 layoffs and being unemployed for like a year. I was like, man, this is not working. And then I went and got my MBA because everybody told me I needed an MBA to go get a better job. And then when I got my MBA, nobody gave a shit.
Wow. Yeah.
Everybody told me I was too entrepreneurial. So I was kind of a forced entrepreneur. I said to myself, I was like, you know what? Like, I launched a consulting company. I didn't have a single client. And then I said, all right, let's go figure it out. So that's what I did. I landed a couple clients and got rolling, and it was good. And it kept me afloat for a number of times. And I think too many people are sitting there just trying to, like, you know, hit all the websites and try to network and all their stuff, and just, you know, just go do it.
Yeah.
Just
I agree.
Yeah, it was tough.
Now, when you were a kid, were you like planning on being an entrepreneur? It's interesting because you mentioned this, and I remember when entrepreneurship for me when I was in college was like, that was what people who didn't go to school, that's what they had to do for survival. Right? It wasn't glorious until like social media came out, and everybody was like glorifying entrepreneurship.
We're like, I don't want to be an entrepreneur. I heard they're broke.
Yeah, exactly. And it's crazy because I don't think it's for everyone.
Yeah.
And I think though, at a very deep level, I was definitely wired to be an entrepreneur. I remember being by the fire hydrant and running like a car wash with my friends. I remember flipping just little hustles and selling candies in my school, just making money however I could. When I was in college, I ran a barbershop out of my dorm room.
Oh, that's dope. That's cool.
Just to put myself through school.
Nice.
So there was always those little signs that I would, at some point in time, get into entrepreneurship, but it wasn't really glorified during that time.
It really wasn't.
But for you, like, what was it growing up? Do you feel like you were always wired to be an entrepreneur?
I think I was, and I just never really knew it, and I never really leaned into it, and I never really knew that it was a path I could take. So even when I was a kid, you guys are gonna laugh about this, like, we used to eat these, we used to have these oxtails, and I'd clean them up and I'd sell them to the kids at school and tell them they were some Star Wars thing. If you guys bought those, sorry, but appreciate it. And then since I was like 13 years old, I was always washing cars or mowing grass or cutting grass or whatever else, or washing people's dogs.
Hustling.
I was even washing people's planes. And I remember at one time I had some other friends, they were like, hey, they were good friends of mine, and they had the mowers, and I would be the one that would go door to door, knock on the people, sell the job, and then I would sub it out to them. They would do all the work, and I'd make a little over half the profit. I was like, you know, so I always had it in me as a kid, but nobody ever really told me like, hey, you should go pursue this and make it happen. I mean, I probably could have had like a bunch of car washes instead of going to college.
Of course.
I had a great time in college. I had made some of my closest friends, and I learned a lot during the time. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Of course.
But now, like, it just doesn't make sense.
For sure. And my question to you too on the college, because I'm very similar. I have a business degree and, you know, did all that stuff. And my question to you is, let's just say you do have children. Are you going to encourage them to go and get a degree, or is it just going to depend? Like, what if they do want to be entrepreneurs? Are you going to recommend that they have the degree as a backup? Like, what are your views on that?
You know, I think college is a good time for them to marinate and kind of grow up and mature a little bit.
I agree.
And if they're going to go to school, I want them to go get a degree in finance or go do something good. Like if you're going to get a degree in whatever random underwater basket weaving studies or theology or whatever, like no, we're not going to do all that.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I think college has its place for some people. I mean, and you know, we need employees. We need good employees.
That's right.
And so entrepreneurship isn't for everybody.
Yeah.
But I think it really just depends on them and what they really want to do. But I can tell you right now, man, they're gonna be hustling. They're not gonna I'm not going to be soft on them.
Yeah.
I mean, our parents were really, really hard on us, and I think that's what really made us who we are today. And I mean, and business isn't soft.
Yeah.
The world doesn't give a shit about your feelings.
Contact sport. Yeah.
The world does not give a shit about your feelings.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. Very true.
And the sooner that we can get these kids to just really think about that and operate like that, the better off they'll be.
Yeah, no, that's so good, brother. And as we get ready to bring it in for a landing, I wanted to ask as well, what's the vision? Like you have real estate, you're getting deeper into business brokerage and things like that.
Yeah.
What would you say is the vision long term with everything? Man,
the vision long term is just really, we're going to scale Nueva. We are going to have, by this time next year, we will have we'll be at 5 locations by this time next year.
That's awesome.
5 locations, probably actually. We'll be at 5 locations by Cinco de Mayo next year. But man, I love it. I'm going to be a portfolio owner. Me and my partners, we have some properties we're taking down. We are going to have some really, really cool things going.
That's so cool.
Acquiring some investment properties, some warehouses, and then really just, you know, help people find next steps outside of themselves when they're wanting to retire from their businesses.
Yeah.
To really help those people move on with some cash in their pocket instead of just closing the doors and you know, just being a vessel for people within the Radiant community that want to get closer to some really, really good people in the business world and everything else. I mean, it's huge.
Absolutely.
It's everything, and just just showing up for the good people around me and everything else. So I'd say that's what that looks like, and that's what I think it's going to look like. I mean, God's going to have His own plans. I mean, you know what I like to say is God's plan is always better than ours, so we'll see. It could shake out plenty of different ways.
Yeah, definitely. When it's all said and done, what would you say you want to be remembered for?
You know, I want to be remembered that I was there for people.
Yeah.
I was there for people that I took care of them, and I served them to the highest level in the same sense that Jesus would.
Yeah.
I want to be remembered for that, and I want to be remembered in the sense that, you know, when you're with me, you could always just show up however you are.
Of course.
And I would always meet you where you were. Like you didn't have to roll up in a cool whip or a 911. It'd be cooler if you did. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just all about good people, good vibes, and that's what I would want.
I love that, brother. And if there were any departing words, God forbid this was your last interview, what would be, and definitely knock on wood, right? But if it were, what would be the very last thing you'd like to share with the world? I would say, you know, wherever you're at, accept where you're at, because where you're at is where you're at for a reason. God's got you're in the exact place that you are supposed to be. You're not supposed to be 5 levels ahead. You're not supposed to be 5 levels behind. Where you are is where you are. So the sooner that you can come to accept where you are, the better off you'll be, and the better that you can make decisions to where you want to go and what that looks like for you. I would say another thing I'd say is give yourself grace. This shit isn't easy. You know, give yourself credit to how far you've come, not other people around you. Stop comparing yourself to other people, because like we like to say, you know, comparison is a thief of joy. And there's just, you can't only compare yourself to where you were this time last year or last month or whatever else. And if you're not where you want to be, what changes do you need to make to get to where you want to be? And you know, the last thing I would say is, you know, whatever you got, just give it to God, man. Give it to God, get humbled and give it to Him, and he'll make things better. That's
if
so
you're
good.
willing to follow him.
Yeah, so good. Appreciate that, brother.
man.
Where can our audience find you?
You can always find me on Instagram, the Chris Estrada. They'll put you on the links over here. I'm over here in Tampa, do some stuff in Atlanta, but yeah, man, I appreciate you having me on the podcast, and I want to give you a shout out and thank you for everything that you guys are doing. Your camera guy Trey, I mean, he's a G. He's
the best.
What you guys are doing out here, you guys are making some real impact in the world, and I appreciate everything you guys are doing for yourselves and for your families, and also for the kingdom, man. You know, this is a win. At the end of the day, it's all for him, right?
That's right. No, it's so good, brother. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
and make sure you guys follow Chris on all his platforms. If you need any real estate services, business brokerage services, anything like that, or you just want to come and vibe at Nueva Cantina in the Tampa Bay area, come vibe out, grab you some bites. And yes, guys, till next time, make sure you tune in, like, comment, share, tag, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll be seeing you soon for our very next episode. Take care.
And we're going to get some tacos.
That's right.
We're going to get some tacos.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you so
man.
much.
Yeah,
It's
man.
so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Dope. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was great. Thank you.
Oh, no, that was really
Man,
good.
you brought me to my spot.
I'm
Oh, shit.